It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shot.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 coming back at you for a Thursday night Shoe Shine special boxing preview. Saludos and a big welcome to everybody new to the channel. I want to thank everybody that is a recent subscriber. I am so honored that you guys hit that subscribe button. Thank you to the 100,000 people that watched my short on the mega fight weekend here in Las Vegas on Sunday. I am so grateful that you guys have tuned into my channel. I'm honored to have you guys. So welcome everybody. I already see good friend Paul M in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the Bay Area. Yay area, stand up. You guys know I'm approaching my 2-year anniversary as a Las Vegas local. Had always been my wife and I's dreams to relocate here to the fight capital of the world. So not only could I enjoy the city of Las Vegas, the fight capital of the world, but to be so close to all the action. But great time to be a Bay Area sports fan. Paul, how excited are we about the Golden State Warriors? Last I checked, I'm not sure what's going on with Curry. Very exciting for the Golden State Warriors if we can get to the next level in the playoffs. Obviously, the San Francisco Giants are playing tremendous baseball. We're just a game and a half behind the LA Dodgers. Great time to be a Bay Area sports fans, guys. And yes, right off the top, shout out to the Filipinos, my Pinoys, Daly City, the Bay Area, Pilo. Y'all know that's a Pilo beat right there. Absolutely. The answer is yes. It is official. 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao is coming out of retirement. The last time he was in the ring was in an exhibition against a Japanese kickboxer. That did not go so well, guys. That fight is available for you guys to watch on YouTube. He faced a Japanese kickboxer, a very large, in comparison to Manny Pacquiao, this fighter was much taller and heavier in natural weight. And he roughed up a 44 or 45-year-old Manny Pacquiao. He has not fought officially in boxing in over 4 years, coming off a big loss to Ugas. 4 years. Manny Pacquiao making his return this summer. I think the date tentatively is July 19th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, headlining, fighting someone no stranger to big fights in Mario Barrios, the WBC welterweight champion. Manny Pacquiao is coming off retirement and getting a title opportunity. Now, to a lot of boxing fans, you should be really pissed off. At the same time, a legend like Manny Pacquiao, someone who's put on so many great performances here in Las Vegas, how do you deny him the opportunity? The WBC, when they heard he was interested in taking Mario Barrios, let me tell you, it looks like Team Mario Barrios was all on board. Another chance to fight a humongous name, another opportunity to make a humongous payday, whether or not we, the boxing fans, oppose it. We're going to get this fight. 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao, what does he have left as a middle-aged senator from the Philippines? Thousands and thousands of devoted fans. I expect this to be a sellout, guys. I expect this to be on the hottest week possible. The middle of July in Las Vegas, guys, is absolutely horrific heat. And I anticipate it to easily be 100 to 115 degrees, middle of July, for a sold-out show that's also going to include the rematch. I know, a lot of you boxing fans are pissed off. Sebastian Fundora should have fought the Puerto Rican kid from Top Rank, should have fought young Xander Zayas and defended his title. He was a unified title until of just last week when Sebastian Fundora made it pretty clear with his team that they're not interested in that fight. They were going in a different direction, and we're getting the rematch with Tim Tszyu, one of the most bloodiest fights I've ever seen in Las Vegas. Unbelievable action. The Tim Tszyu rematch is going to happen on this very exact card. Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC championship, and Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora of California to the rematch for the 154-pound title, whatever title is left. Shout out to Sonteo Media's Fonzie just joining me. Big fight weekend in San Diego. Good friend of the show, Gail Falkenthal, was down there today for the press conference. El Vaquero is back, guys. For those of you just joining, I should have titled it, Is the Filipino versus Mexico rivalry finally back? This weekend, we're going to get a sneak peek, because I'm telling you, if Charlie Suarez can do the unthinkable, Olympian Filipino Charlie Suarez, 36 years old, can do the unthinkable and upset El Vaquero, well, we really got a freaking interesting year ahead, because they're going to demand a rematch. Navarrete and Top Rank are going to want an immediate rematch. And we have this upcoming mega fight between Manny Pacquiao and Barrios. Shout out to my good friends in there, ZWBR Co. I just was looking at some of your artwork the other day on Instagram. We need to talk. I need to get some of that boxing merchandise, definitely. Maybe even have you, if you hit me up, maybe even hire you to do some fantastic graphic design for the channel. Good to see you in the chat, as always, Chauncey. SB, one of the best mods in the Las Vegas circle of friends here. Fonzie is in here. Charlie Suarez is too old, guys. Let me get my comments section up here. We're going to get to the analysis of that fight. I do want to get through some of the news. We're still buzzing a lot about what we just saw this weekend. Obviously, the Canelo fight was a snooze fest. I was listening to the 3 knockdown rule with Steve Kim. Steve Kim, always great to be on a panel with him. And of course, Mario Lopez, the great big actor Mario Lopez. And he was saying that he went to not Chicas Bonitas, but Ojos Locos on Saturday. That's where all the boxing writers was at Ojos Locos. I forgot about that. But you know, guys, my mother was in town this weekend. And big hello and warm welcome, but all the mothers out there this Mother's Day. My mom was in town this weekend, and I don't think that would have been a good place to take my mom. For those of you that don't know, Ojos Locos is the Mexican Hooters. And they were charging $25. Steve Kim said he paid $25, and there was nothing but pissed off Mexican fans at Ojos Locos watching that sham of a super middleweight championship fight with the Cuban fighter William Scola. There was nothing but pissed off. I would be pissed off too. We're lucky we got to see that fight Saturday in Las Vegas at a casino behind the strip for free. To pay $25 to see that disgusting fight. JC, I dropped off Fonzie the other day. I think he saw a fight. Yeah, I think Fonzie would say it's lit there. By the way, I think they have a hotel too. They have a hotel at Ojos Locos in Las Vegas right off the freeway. So if you need so I think they got pretty decent rooms. But that's where Steve Kim got to watch the fight, and he said it was nothing but pissed off fans. I would have been pissed too, guys. Like I said, we watched it at a smaller casino behind the strip. It was a sham. Now we have, at the very least, if there's any consolation prize, we now know it's official that Canelo versus Terrence Bud Crawford is official for Friday, not a Saturday. Friday, September 13th or so at the Allegiant Stadium. It'll be the first stadium fight. The first stadium fight in all of the history of Las Vegas, a mega stadium, a football stadium. Canelo has an opportunity to show us what he can do with one of the best generational talents of our generation of boxing right now, this current boxing generation, and Terrence Bud Crawford, guys. I have to ask you, and I'm still trying to find my comments section, guys. I want to be able to see the comments here. Thank you so much, and post them up here. Paul M says, happy birthday, Fonzie. It's always Fonzie's birthday. SB says, hey, Fonzie, and good to see JC. JC says, it's also a hotel. Pinche brother. Yeah, it is. It is a hotel, too. This is very, very interesting, guys, because you guys remember, those of you hardcore boxing fans that have been watching boxing for at least 10 years, you guys might have been part of this. You might have been part of this community. I guess, I still wasn't really rooting for Canelo in the very first Golovkin fight. Although I technically never wore one of these shirts. For some reason, many, many years back, Canelo just rubbed me the wrong way. And I know that a lot of Mexican fans felt that way about Canelo. We have our diehard Canelo community. And we had some people that were a little late to the party. Maybe you associated with Mexicans for Golovkins. Maybe you never wore the shirt, but you had the same sentiment. But Terrence Crawford is trying to capitalize this. And I wonder, guys, are you guys ready to support Terrence Crawford in his recent endeavors? Because Terrence Crawford announced that he has some new merchandise. And that's right. He's going to try to capitalize on the exact same thing. Not that Golovkin made his own t-shirts. I'm pretty sure Golovkin never made these t-shirts. But these are available for sale if you are going to come to the super fight of the century in Las Vegas for September. You might need to decide what side of the fence you're on, if you're Team Canelo or if you're Team Crawford. And if you're Chicano or Mexican or Latino and you want to wear one of these t-shirts to let Terrence Crawford know that you support him, you could buy some of these limited edition t-shirts. This Terrence that has his emblem TC there in black or white. Viva Mexico for Bud or whatever that says, Terrence. But Crawford is trying to capitalize on it. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the design? If Chauncey is still in here, what do you think of this? Could you do better? Can we make some better shirts? Terrence Crawford is going to try to capitalize on that. Now we know, guys, for sure that it's official. Now we can start talking about things because the press conferences and the lead up to this fight are going to begin almost immediately. And Turkey's got a lot of work to do, period. Because first of all, Turkey's going to be working with a new promoter for this. It looks like Dana White. Yep, Dana White of the UFC is going to be taking the helm of this promotion, potentially with the new boxing outfit he's come up with. TKO is behind it. And you're wondering to yourself, how much am I going to pay for this fight? Well, if you got Netflix, I'm almost 100% guaranteed sure that you're going to get to watch this super mega fight for free. And you can thank Jake Paul for that. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson on a Friday night, 50 million people watched that fight. A sham of a fight. A fucking joke of a fight. SB says, wearing that shirt, you might be asking for an ass whooping. It is the home of the Las Vegas Raiders, but I have to say, in comparison to when I grew up in the Bay Area, guys, things are pretty tame at the Allegiant. I'll guarantee you that every available police officer will be working the fight who wants to make overtime. You're going to see and we also have the Las Vegas Marshals. You have North Las Vegas. For a fight of this magnitude, you can expect a serious heavy police presence, and you're going to need it because you're absolutely right, SB. Fighting at stadiums goes hands in hands with combat sports and football and especially soccer. I think there was already some mayhem at a soccer fight at the Allegiant. By the way, it was a soccer fight. I think a soccer match with some huge fights. But JC cracking me up says, who threw more punches, Skull or Tyson? Listen, guys, this fight is probably going to be free. And already on Twitter, some of you that follow me on Twitter at the Mike and Dave 1 have already expressed that you are thinking about coming here. It looks like good friend of the show, Nando's already confirmed he's got his hotel room. Chicano Prophet says he's thinking about it very closely. Just book the room, book the deposit so that you at least know you got a place to stay because shit's going to get expensive really, really quickly. Worry about the ticket prices if you have to. Listen. The Queen of Pop, whatever her skinny name is, the one that dates Kelsey, and I know Paul, if you're in here, what's her name? What's the damn girl's name? Spaghetti Legs. She makes all her fans, her shit, to go see her in concert is so freaking expensive that they have buy now, pay later Klarna plans for that shit. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be selling tickets to the Canelo Bud fight and offer buy now, pay later payment plan on that. Yeah, they definitely, Paul says they definitely need much police presence as possible. It's going to happen. It's going to happen September 13th. In between now and then, we have a super fight in July. We've got a couple of interesting fights coming up at the end of May. And this weekend, thank you so much, Taylor Swift. That's right. Her shit is so expensive to go to that they got payment plans on that. I hope they'll do that because if they want to sell out this fight, they cannot take advantage of the fact that that people love Las Vegas so much that they're going to be willing to pay any price. Honestly, the Canelo fight that sold 67,000 seats in Dallas at the Dallas Stadium for the Cowboys had tickets pretty good. Yeah, imagine financing for concert tickets. You can finance your fucking Uber Eats, right? Or DoorDash these days. You can take out a loan for that. And I'll tell you what, you could definitely finance to go to major festivals if you're into raving and whatnot. EDC, those things have payment plans too, as does Coachella. They said over 60% of what is it, not Gen Z? Yes, over 60% of Gen Z financed going to Coachella. I hope it's not that bad, guys, because I do remember that Canelo priced the tickets to see him fight Saunders at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium or attractively, nosebleeds for, pretty reasonable prices, anywhere from $25 to $50 for nosebleeds. Salute to F Donuts. Appreciate you, man. Channel's doing great. I am looking forward to your walking that video on that cat, man. My wife wants to see that cat. I think she wants to get a Bengal cat so we can walk an exotic cat around Las Vegas. That's pretty dope. Thank you guys to everybody. If F Donuts is live right now and you guys are watching, saludos to everybody over there. The Canelo versus Terrence Bud Crawford weekend is set. We are going to get this. It is great news. But speaking of the guy he just fought, William Skull, guys, if you guys saw that atrocity on Saturday night, William Skull is going around saying that he won that fight. I know he didn't throw anywhere, but the total recorded punches for that were about 111 punches between Canelo and Skull. And here's a statement from Skull. Skull thinks he won. He says, honestly, especially after the fifth round, I felt like I was in control of the fight and I was executing our plan and needed to not take any chances, just going all the way to the end. A lot of people were thoroughly disappointed with this fight. He got a record payday. In fact, a lot of people are now speculating, what can we do as boxing fans, as boxing commissions, state commissions? Can we do anything to encourage people to actually fight who show up, who have been contracted, are getting paid handsomely to show up to fight, but they don't fight? What can we do? Some people have commented on the channel. Let's make the ring smaller. Let's have judges give the ability to warn them and then penalize them. They even had a great story on the 3 knockdown rule where Steve Kim said that Bruce Trampler, once upon a time, one of the great matchmakers at Top Rank's matchmaker, had gone up to a kid who refused to fight and say, "Hey kid, if you don't start fighting, that's it. You're never getting paid. You're not getting paid." And that was it. That kid didn't fight, and he never heard from him on a major fight card ever again. What can we do as boxing fans to encourage these fighters to actually fight? And there's been a lot of talk this week from all different major voices in boxing. Oscar De La Hoya is so fucking fed up with what Devin Haney did this week that he says, "I'll never, ever put Devin Haney in with one of our guys. I won't waste my time with Devin because he runs and will continue running." Oscar De La Hoya came up short on Friday night. What looked to be a fantastic card on paper turned out to be a complete shit show on Friday night. Ryan Garcia now has a second devastating loss on his career. Ryan Garcia is supposed to be the poster boy for Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions. And now we don't even know what kind of fight, at 26 years old, I think Ryan Garcia, he's never been a world champion. Rolly Romero from PBC is now a 3-time world champion. Even though those belts aren't major belts, he is now a 3-time world champion. Ryan Garcia, 0. Never world champion. Today I was reminded, guys, that Fernando Vargas, the father of Emiliano Vargas, at 21 years old, had already fought Winky Wright. He already fought like 3 of the biggest fighters of his era. Some of these guys had become champions at the exact same age of his son, Emiliano Vargas. Fighters these days are being worked too slowly from when they get hired as professionals to when they get a chance to become a world champion. They're moving so many of them too slowly, in my opinion. That's right, SB. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you to all the new people watching. I appreciate it, guys. We will get to some analysis of this weekend because, like we just mentioned, this is official. Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the 147-pound WBC championship. A division where you got a lot of talent, but everybody seems to be scared to sign up and fight, which in my opinion is the best champion in the division, Boots Ennis of Philadelphia. Everybody rather go a different way. For Mario Barrios, obviously this is just my speculation, but it's motivated by the fact that Manny Pacquiao is a legend in the sport. And this is going to do financially going to be a very successful venture for not only him, but for PBC, and to get the Filipino fans back excited about the sport of boxing. Filipino fighters have had such an impact over the past 20 years. None other has had a greater impact than living Hall of Famer, Manny Pacquiao, guys. This weekend, we're going to get a taste of what potentially could be a great fight between a Mexican world champion and Navarrete versus Charlie Suarez. Charlie Suarez there on the right. Let's take a quick look at his numbers, guys. Charlie Suarez is a Filipino Olympian, former member of the Army, I believe. He is 36 years old and undefeated. Emmanuel Navarrete, now 39 wins and 2 losses. This fight is taking place in San Diego. San Diego quickly becoming a great town for the sport of boxing. On the co-main, you're going to have Raymond Murataya of Robert Garcia. And he is getting the opportunity of a lifetime, guys. I did get to see Raymond Murataya fight here in Las Vegas at the Palms Casino against Tevin Farmer, guys. This fight was razor thin margin. I did not agree with the decision. I know I might be upsetting Sonteo Media here, but I think that Tevin Farmer, who had an unlucky streak of not getting calls in his favor, started with this very own fight here against Raymond Murataya versus Tevin Farmer, a fight which Murataya was supposed to most likely blow him out. Tevin Farmer didn't want to go anywhere. And obviously, guys, after that, Tevin Farmer got an opportunity to fight Golden Boy's best fighter in William Zepeda, not once, but twice. And now I'm hearing that Tevin Farmer, boy, I really fumbled this one. About a couple of weeks ago, guys, I had mentioned that Floyd Schofield was for certain going to fight a good friend of our show, Lucas Badi, Canada's Lucas Badi, on the undercard of Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez. This is a Jake Paul with Golden Boy venture. Floyd Schofield, a top 135 contender, I should say he's a contender now, in the division, was going to fight Shakur Stevenson in Saudi Arabia, fell ill. And naturally they said, hey man, we're doing Jake Paul, Golden Boy. Well, we got Lucas Badi, heavy puncher, undefeated, knockout of the year contender in 2024. Let's set them two up. I was extremely excited because both of these kids, we know them very well, and we'd love to see them fight each other. Looks like Tevin Farmer is also getting an opportunity potentially, and nothing is signed. We may see him fight Lucas Badi. We may see him fight Tevin Farmer. We don't know, but for one thing for certain is I called it too quickly. Schofield is being looked at to be on that card, but we do not know against which opponent yet. So this might be very exciting for Tevin Farmer. Back to this card this Sunday, guys. Fonzie says, I think Vaquero Navarrete has 2, maybe 3 more fights under his belt. Oh, at 130 pounds, this will be his 4th defense. Some of you guys saw him fight We have here the rankings, 100 super featherweight rankings. Emmanuel Navarrete, number 1. O'Shaquie Foster, big fan. I'm a big fan of O'Shaquie Foster. Anthony Casacci, the Irishman with the Italian name, is fighting this weekend in the UK. This is going to be a banger of a fight. Do not sleep on Anthony Casacci. He dropped his IBF title. He is not the champion. He was the champion. He's going to fight Woods this weekend. This is going to be the best fight from the UK this weekend. You have to watch it. He gave up his IBF title to fight Lee Woods because it was a huge cash fight. He says at 36 years old, I am not going to fight Eduardo Nunez. Y'all could keep your fucking IBF belt. I am going to fight Lee Woods in the UK for some big money. Of course, Lamont Roach just did the unthinkable. Should have upset Tank Davis. Joe Cortina lost his title to Casacci. Eduardo Nunez there is number 7. Like I said, Anthony Casacci refused to fight him. And one of my favorite in the division is Raymond Ford. Raymond Ford, I think, would be a fantastic fight for Navarrete. If you only have, 3 or 4 more fights, you bring up a great question, Fonzie. Who does he fight? Because I think he's going to get past Charlie Suarez, guys. Let me tell you a couple things about Charlie Suarez. Today, I was watching Charlie Suarez fight Lomachenko in the World Series of Boxing. And boy, did old Lomachenko look good. Dropped Charlie Suarez, but Charlie Suarez hung in there and really tried to fight back. This is a much younger Charlie Suarez, guys. Lomachenko, obviously, we don't even know if he's coming back. Now, where's my co-host, Drew? Saludos to Veronica. Appreciate you being in here. SB Linda Hernandez is here. Appreciate you as well. She says, I got to run. She says, hello to F Donuts. The title that Lomachenko has is up for grabs technically, okay? Raymond Murataya, Robert Garcia, he is fighting for a vacant belt on the co-main event, guys, and I think it's going to be a banger of a fight. All right, he's going to be fighting, I want to make sure I get his name correctly, Zaur Abdulev. Zaur Abdulev has 1 loss. You need to go watch that fight. If you are anticipating making a wager this weekend, Zaur Abdulev has only 1 loss, and it came on DAZN to Devin Haney many years back. Where the fuck is the Devin Haney, excuse my language, that beat Zaur Abdulev? He only has 1 loss. Devin Haney looked like the next Floyd Mayweather there. Where is the Devin Haney that had that gusto and passion for the sport? The guy who had an incredibly stiff jab, right hands, athleticism. That Devin Haney, I don't know where that Devin Haney is. The Devin Haney that stopped in the 4th round, Zaur Abdulev. Zaur Abdulev did not get up. It's his only loss. That dude, that Devin Haney is long gone. Go back and watch that. Appreciate everybody here. Saludos to Yash Shankar. Mom Food is in the building. Mom Food must have blessed me with the best luck this week, guys. She saw the short I made on Sunday of obviously the monster stopping Ramon Cardenas. As she said, the shoe shine, she says, I think it's going to hit 1 million. Now I'm like, that's wild. I can never imagine anything on my channel hitting 1 million views. But Mom Food, if you haven't, if you want to go back and notice, I'm so grateful. I think you blessed me with some good luck. Thank you to everybody that was there with me, my wife, Fonzie, and friends. We hit over 103 or 104,000 views in 48 hours. And thank you to all the new subscribers. I really, really appreciate this. I see David Benavidez in here. Fonzie says, Haney always sucked. I don't know what you're talking about. Fonzie, go back and watch that fight. That Devin Haney was he actually won, I think, the WBC interim 135-pound title. He actually looked really good back then, guys. Now, Zaur Abdulev does have some very impressive wins, including a recent win against, or not too recent, but against Jorge Linares, former champion Jorge Linares. That was a very impressive win. He's fought some really tough opposition, and I think he's going to come deliver this weekend and give Raymond Murataya of California a hell of a co-main event. We're going to be treated to a very, very good fight on ESPN, guys. And ESPN has been killing it, guys. They took a huge risk doing a Sunday fight last Sunday, just days ago, it feels like, right? In Las Vegas on a Sunday on television for everybody to see. Let me show you guys how successful they were. And there's a reason why I got 100,000 plus views on my shorts this weekend. It's because people were genuinely bonkers for content regarding this fight. I had no idea. 68 million total views. Okay, that's insane. Overall performance on social media, 68 million. Second all-time total impressions, 77 million total impressions. Facebook over 21 million. YouTube over 2.7. Thank God that I got to witness that, because I had no idea how special this Sunday was going to be. Yes, I'm telling. Somebody calls a monster. Let's talk about something really quickly, guys. The monster, anyway, right? Gets knocked down. I put that video up too. That one's got over 10,000, 11,000, because Ramon Cardenas, the quote-unquote Uber driver, a lot of people bashing him as, who cares what boxers got to do to make ends meet? Half of the guys work day jobs in construction, and you know construction is brutal hard work, and then they get up at the crack of dawn before that to run, and they hit the gym after that. It's not a glorious, glamorous life for the boxer that does not have a major fight contract. In fact, I had a very good friend that I swear, worked at Walmart and was a professional boxer and worked at Walmart. At one point, another Las Vegas fighter that I've met, you guys may have heard of him. He goes around saying, woo! He lived in his car at one point while working at Caesars in the security department. It's not an easy life being a fighter, guys, if you don't have a major fight contract. Not glamorous at all. But you've seen the numbers. The monster. Veronica says, I watched it and it was great. It was a great way to end the weekend of boxing. The monster is going to be fighting again. Most likely, his next opponent is MJ this fall, and then potentially a super matchup with Ioka, who's like 5'9", I believe, 118-pound champion Ioka. That's going to be a super fight in Japan. But the co-main event, and Rafael Espinoza, who is a 126-pound world champion who sings mariachi. By the way, guys, go back and watch my Monday show where I sang mariachi at the 20-minute mark, because I got a huge copyright strike for singing mariachi at the 20-minute marker. I think it was 20-minute marker. I got a huge copyright strike for that. They want me to take it down. So go back and watch that if you're remotely curious. Rafael Espinoza, the great 126-pound featherweight champion who stands 6'1" and sang mariachi for the audience the minute he knocked out his opponent. People want to know, can you see the monster moving up to featherweight and fighting that in-house fighter, Rafael Espinoza? I don't see it, guys. Rafael Espinoza is on the verge, potentially, of another unification, if not moving up to 130 pounds, and getting a super fight with Navarrete, providing Navarrete does not lose this weekend and still looks good. Everything, the writing is on the wall for a super matchup between none other than El Vaquero. But hey, man, also go back and watch Monday's show, guys. I was wearing my best cowboy hat, El Vaquero. Where is it? Where's his picture, guys? Go back and watch that. Yeah, El Vaquero versus Rafael Espinoza on Top Rank. Cinco de Mayo of next year. I'm hearing rumblings that that's something that they're working towards, providing they continue to win their fights the rest of this year. It could be the biggest Mexico versus Mexico fight next Cinco de Mayo. Again, here's a quick graphic. Navarrete versus Suarez. Filipino, 36 years old, undefeated, has tons of experience. Fought Lomachenko. You can watch that on YouTube. And people asked me earlier on Twitter, hey, why isn't that on his box rec? It's because that took place in the World Boxing Series, something that Lomachenko went undefeated in. He did drop Suarez, but Suarez is pretty slick boxer, guys. He can switch hit. He can box from both sides, orthodox and southpaw. You will see that this weekend against Navarrete. If he gets in trouble, he's going to switch sides and give Navarrete different looks. Now, one thing about Suarez at 36 years old that's very concerning, guys, is that he seems to fade in all his most recent fights. He doesn't seem to handle pressure fighters that well, and he seems to fatigue in the midway rounds. Now, depending on how fast Navarrete starts this fight on Saturday, he could get his motor going slowly and really ramp up the pressure in the mid rounds and maybe hurt Suarez. Suarez has been down a couple of times in his professional career. Maybe he hurts him with a body shot. Who knows? It's going to be a good fight, guys. It's going to be a very good fight. But I think ultimately Navarrete is going to come away victorious in San Diego. Now, he did recently lose at the exact same venue to Baranchyk when he tried to move up to 135 and he lost to Baranchyk, was embarrassed. I don't think Navarrete is going to go any higher anymore. That's it. He's not moving up to 135. That experiment is over. That leaves him with the best potential super fight left in his career is to fight the young Rafael Espinoza, who's 6'1", who really is, and he's the Mexican monster. Veronica, he's the Mexican monster. Fonzie says, Navarrete knocks him out in the late rounds. It won't go past the 10th. For the Filipino, I mentioned earlier, this could be the beginning of a mega Filipino versus Mexico rivalry. And today when I found out that Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios is now official for July 19th in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile, I could not help but remember when I worked in San Francisco and I had about 4 close Filipino coworkers that were watching the fight between Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao, number 4. After Juan Manuel Marquez had been robbed in some very dubious decisions, Tim Bradley, if I remember correctly, Tim Bradley got the nod in a fight against Manny Pacquiao where I think, well, he shouldn't have got that one. Manny Pacquiao on the wrong side or on the plus side, some very questionable calls in his career. On that particular night, Juan Manuel Marquez ended up retiring after because he finally got the vindication that he rightfully wanted in his career, knocking out the legend Manny Pacquiao with the smoothest, hardest right-hand counter that I had been witness. Incredible. I thought Manny Pacquiao died that night. I remember not being able to watch the fight and trying to stream it because I didn't have the pay-per-view, and I'm trying to stream it on a small device. And I saw Manny Pacquiao on the floor for what seemed like an eternity. And I thought, holy shit, Marquez killed Pacquiao. Marquez killed Pacquiao. He's dead. I thought, I don't know why I thought, I'm like, what did we just see? As he laid unconscious, face first. And you could see the jubilation and then concern on Manuel Marquez's face that, this is my great rival, but he's also my friend, someone I respect very dearly in their 4th fight. And we thank God that Manny Pacquiao got up off the floor eventually and resumed his boxing career, right? For many, many more championship fights. But I was watching that fight on a small device. And I'll tell you, that Monday morning, I worked in the Bay Area, back in San Francisco. And that Monday morning, all my Filipino coworkers were like, they didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to talk about it at the water cooler. Nobody wanted to talk about that Marquez fight. I, of course, brought it up, and then the conversation, they didn't want to talk about it. That was for sure. That was a very humbling way to end the great rivalry between Juan Manuel Marquez. And, of course, you guys remember the incredible fights Manny Pacquiao had earlier in his career with Barrios, another great legendary Mexican Hall of Famer. If you have a favorite Manny Pacquiao fight, guys, was it the god-awful Mayweather fight? I mean, put it in the chat. Let me know if you watch this in replay. Put it in here. What was your favorite Manny Pacquiao fight? Because we're going to get an opportunity for yet another one this summer, July. I'm picking right here, guys. Again, Navarrete this Saturday, 7 p.m. on ESPN. Regular ESPN. It's free. It's gratis. You guys can watch this for free at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on ESPN. Again, the main event is this one right here. The co-main is Raymond Murataya. The keys to victory for Raymond Murataya. Let me get that up here, guys, because this is a really good co-main event. As I mentioned, Raven Murataya, I think he's a great fighter. I really do. He's very talented. The 135-pound division needs fighters like him, but I don't think he really won this one particular fight that I went and saw him against Tevin Farmer. Key number 1, establish the jab. Effective counterpunch is number 2. And number 3, capitalize on the killer instinct. The fighter he's fighting, as I mentioned, Abdulev, has been stopped by Devin Haney. Devin the Dream. Devin the Sleeper. Haney, Devin, the deep sleep melatonin. Haney stopped this opponent he's going to fight. This is for the vacant IBF interim championship. Where's Lomachenko? Where is my co-host Drew Evo? Did not respond to my text. Drew, where are you? This is for the vacant. Don't forget El Gallo de Oro on his comeback. Talk about Giovanni Santillan. Giovanni Santillan, El Gallo de Oro. Giovanni Santillan of San Diego is on the card, guys. I am very much looking forward to it. Giovanni Santillan, who came up massively short in his fight against now champion, WBO champion Brian Norman Jr. in what was an incredibly tough, hard-fought battle. It was a bloodfest. It was all, Santillan had a brilliant welterweight career and lead up into what could have been, he was going to put himself in position for a world title. And Brian Norman Jr. put an unbelievable beatdown on Giovanni Santillan. Another great fighter out of Robert Garcia's academy. A really great welterweight champion. He's back on this card, guys. He's fighting a Mexican fighter, Angel Beltran Villa of Mexicali. You guys know that Mexicali fighters from Mexico, just over the border, are some tough bastards. I was trying to watch fights against, again, he's more of a club fighter. Most of his fights have taken place in Mexico. He does seem to have a decent record. I think only 2 losses. This is a fight where I think Giovanni Santillan could potentially look good and still have some resistance. Now, he needs to be tested again. He needs to get his confidence up, but he doesn't need to fight a bum or a cab driver, as some of you guys like to call fighters. This is going to be a very entertaining fight, one where I hope that Giovanni Santillan will become confident again and potentially maybe get himself back in conversation with a potential, welterweight title fight. So he's got to look good. And he's going to be fighting someone that's going to offer some decent resistance. This card is stacked, guys. There's a female fighter that Top Rank just signed her. She's on the card as well. I apologize, I don't remember her name, but they have high hopes for her. And of course, this will be included on this free card. Andres Cortez is going to call out Navarrete that night. Andres Cortez is also a very good potential contender for Top Rank, also on that card this Saturday for free, gratis on ESPN. All right, guys, there was some very, very interesting news. I do appreciate the talent that Teofimo Lopez has in the ring. He did have the most impressive performance last Friday in New York, Times Square, a complete shit show event. Now they're talking about they may have the next Riyadh season fight in New York this summer, which is going to have Shakur Stevenson, Edgar Berlanga. They're talking about potentially having it in Central Park. I would love to see a fight in Central Park. I would love to be there myself personally with my wife. I think it's a much better idea than the Times Square thing, which was a complete fail from the traffic from automobiles, from fencing off the fight area, to fight fans that came to stand there and not be able to see shit. They weren't able to see anything on the big LCD screens. It was a complete shit show. The fans that were allowed to watch it were diehard special VIPs, I guess. VIP people, they didn't seem to care to be there. If you're going to have a fight outside, Veronica says, I hope they don't hold it outside anymore. I think the better choice would be Central Park, because they have had concerts in Central Park that have had thousands and thousands of people, and they can set up a really nice stage in Central Park. If not, fine, go back to Madison Square Garden. Go back to Brooklyn. Have it inside. Skip the New York Times Square shit again. It's done with, guys. There's no reason to have that. Now, my TV's going to go out behind me, guys. The Teofimo Lopez, really quickly. Don't know how you guys feel about it, but Teofimo Lopez, I respect the hell out of him inside the ring. But again, he continues to say absolutely awful shit outside of the ring. I believe Terrence Crawford and Teofimo's sister got into it last week backstage somewhere. And on video this week, Teofimo Lopez, when asked about Terrence Bud Crawford or something, he basically called him the N-word with the hard R. He said, where is that N-word with the hard R? And laughs about it. You guys might remember that not too long ago, Terrence Crawford not Terrence Crawford, but Teofimo was involved in a prank where he sent bananas to an African opponent fighter. And he filmed himself on his social media laughing about the prank that he had just done. So while I respect the shit out of what Teo does in the ring, I don't buy his constant apologies. He was on Twitter earlier today saying, I love all my peoples, blah, 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 and my brothers and sisters. Come on, Teo. I'll stop with the racist shit, man. Just stop. I don't know why. People are actually calling for Top Rank to censor him, to do something, to sanction him. He has some amazing opportunities to fight potentially. They're talking about, he's been calling out Boots Ennis to move up to welterweight. He has the opportunity to move up to welterweight. He actually holds all the cards to fight anybody in the 140-pound division. Real talk. Yazidar, if I'm saying that right, says the Times Square event was bad. I agree with you. Not only was it not entertaining, but the actual production ended up being quite poor. Teofimo, you want to have fans? Be heartfelt about your apologies. You know, actions speak louder than words. Teofimo is being considered to be on the Canelo Alvarez card, so he's not being punished. In fact, they're actually considering him to fight Boots Ennis. I don't know how it works, but he is being talked about a potential opponent to be on that Canelo Alvarez super card September 13th. It'd be a spectacular fight. Again, Teofimo's the only person who showed up last Friday to perform at his optimum performance and fight like a champion. That's right. Also needs to apologize to Keyshawn Davis. That's another super fight that Top Rank can make, because Keyshawn Davis, now a world champion at 135 pounds, is huge for the division and would be an excellent fight. And they already have bad blood, Teofimo and Keyshawn Davis. It just seems to be that, going back years, Teofimo accused Top Rank of favoring African-American fighters, and that's where all this is just kind of started and emanated from. He just doesn't feel that he gets the respect that he deserves, and because of that, he lashes out with racist talk, and I don't like it. It's just me. I don't like it. I like what he does in the ring. Fantastic fighter. Only 14, 15 fights into his career, he became a world champion and then dominated everybody at 135, cleaning out that division before moving up. He's great. In the ring, he's great. Outside of the ring, he might need to mature a little bit. Anyhow, a couple more big fights coming up this weekend, guys. This is one here. I appreciate everyone in here. Kasachi, the Irishman on the left, versus Lee Wood, former 126-pound champion, a great UK fighter, a great Irish fighter on the left. There is no title on the line, but I guarantee you somebody is going to get knocked the F out. I'm favoring Kasachi in this one, guys. Kasachi did have the IBF world title. And one thing to know about the IBF is that if you don't defend the belt against who they desire, you will get it stripped. Kasachi was said, fight Eduardo Nunez for very little money. And he said, take your fucking belt and shove it. I'd rather fight Lee Wood. I'm 36 years old and I need this payday. Lee Wood is a star in the UK. I need this payday. I'm going for the payday. Take your belt back. You guys know that Alexander Usyk was undisputed. The IBF said, you got to fight Dubois. He said, I don't have time to fight Dubois. I got some big fights. The IBF said, well, then we'll strip you. IBF took the title away from Usyk. Dubois recently picked it up, someone that had already fight Usyk. And now we're going to have a super heavyweight, undisputed matchup again, a rematch because of the IBF. The IBF also told Canelo Alvarez, they said, you got to fight this guy And if you don't fight this guy, then we'll take your title away. And he didn't fight that guy. And William Skull picks up the title. William Skull wins it in Germany. And William Skull, because he got that belt, got an opportunity for $8 million to fight Canelo. The IBF is probably my least favorite sanctioning body. This weekend, don't miss this fight, guys. This one is going to be extremely heavy in action on DAZN. Maybe catch the highlights on YouTube if you don't have time for it. Sunday, well, before I get to Sunday, let me make sure you guys know that if you don't have access to watch boxing or whatever, you don't have DAZN, you could watch Pro Box this Saturday. Erickson Lubin used to be with PBC. Erickson Lubin has a very big win against a good friend of our show from Arizona, Jesus Ramos Jr., on the Canelo Alvarez undercard in Las Vegas, a fight where I thought he did not deserve that win. He did not beat Jesus Ramos Jr. Somehow he was awarded the decision, but he still thinks he's got what it takes to become a world champion contender. He's going to try to show that this Saturday on Pro Box. And believe me, guys, free on YouTube Saturday night. They got the wildest chat. This is going to be some good shit to watch on YouTube this Saturday. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your TV. Watch it wherever, whatever. If you want to watch this when you're done watching ESPN's Navarrete fight, you can watch this later on afterwards because Pro Box always delivers, and I appreciate the commentary of Paulie Malignaggi. Chris Algieri, watch this in your free time. If you don't catch ESPN, we'll watch this instead. Sunday, Fonzie says he's back. He says he's back. Okay, Sunday at 3 in the freaking morning. This is for you diehard fans. This is for the true diehard fans. All right. El Puma Martinez, 150-pound champion. El Puma Martinez in a rematch it's been on the back burner, a rematch against Ioka, one of the great legendary fighters of Japan. He is going to Japan to take on Ioka in a rematch. 115-pound world champion Martinez versus Ioka Sunday. It's when you're going to have to research how to watch this one, guys. He has the blue hair. The guy is a great fighter. Pardon me, El Puma Martinez, world champion, already beat Ioka. It was such a good fight. They're going to run it back in Japan this Sunday. Why should you give a shit about El Puma Martinez? Because if you care about American fighters, if you care about the next big stars, they got the monster. But we got Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez. Sonteo, if you're still listening, I'm praising Robert Garcia. Martinez is a world champion that really is lined up to fight Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Jesse Bam Rodriguez only has one of the titles at 115 pounds. One of them is vacant. Martinez has the other one. Either of these guys are going to go for the next vacant belt, and then we got a super unification. I think this is the best opponent that Jesse Bam Rodriguez could take on at 115 pounds. He's got to come away with the victory this Sunday at 3 in the morning if you're in the West Coast. Obviously, I don't expect anybody to get up at 3 in the morning to watch this, but you're going to want to watch the replay somehow, probably be on YouTube Monday morning. El Puma Martinez, he's fought on PBC before. He rocks the blue hair. He is, as far as I know, Argentina's only champion. And you know Argentina has had some amazing champions. Sergio Maravilla Martinez. The list goes on and on. He is currently one of the baddest champions. Oh, man. Speaking of Japan, obviously we had the monster guys. There's a long list of people that are going to be going to Japan to fight. All right. Shout out to Ramon Cardenas, who took on the monster this weekend. Fonzie says, I'm up. All right. Well, you might be able to catch that fight Sunday morning. There is quite a list of fighters that are going to be going to Japan. First and foremost, do I have the picture of, real quick, we met Angelo Leo, featherweight champion. Fonzie and I had the pleasure of meeting him this past Sunday, featherweight champion in the division of Rafael Espinoza. You know, we saw some amazing fans out there. Oh, covering my face. Angelo Leo. We met him. He's going to be going to Japan next month. Excuse me, I think it's May. I think at the end of this month, he's going to be fighting Tomiko Kamita. Tomiko Kamita, I've spoken a lot about him. Tomiko Kamita is the Mexican Japonés. He speaks perfect Spanish. He grew up in Mexico from his teen years to learn how to fight. And Angelo Leo is going to Japan to fight and defend his title. He won that title against Elvinato Lopez. He's a stud. 2-division champion. Angelo Leo's going over there. El Puma Martinez going to Japan. Welterweight champion Brian Norman Jr., who did not want to sign a fight for $1.7 million to fight Boots Ennis, is going to Japan to fight Sasaki to defend his title in Japan. Brian Norman Jr. going to Japan. Is Canelo Alvarez going to end his career or one of his last fights with Turkey? I don't know who he would fight. There was a middleweight champion not too long ago. Gennady Golovkin beat that middleweight champion in Japan. It was a big freaking deal for Gennady Golovkin to go to Japan. Canelo Alvarez has 2 places that are probably on his bucket list, one of them being the UK, where he's probably going to fight the guy that just beat Conor Benn, Chris Eubanks Jr., and he does probably have ambition to fight in Tokyo in a super fight. Against who? I don't know. I really don't know, guys. I think everybody knew that's been chatting in here. SB Veronica, YZIDR says he beat the brakes out of Ancajas on that. I believe you're talking about the Puma Martinez fight, right? Or put it in the chat who he beat. But yeah, guys, I appreciate it. We got a full stacked weekend. A full stacked weekend beginning Saturday. You can watch Pro Box. You can watch the ESPN fight with Navarrete. Sunday, we have Ioka. And then it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a slow period for May before we come up on 2 pretty good fights that just started the press conferences today. PBC, Caleb Plant, Las Vegas is the local Las Vegas. Caleb Plant. Probably the best fight that Canelo's had in recent memory was against Caleb Plant, other than the ass whooping he took against Dimitri Bivol. Caleb Plant has so many Mexican fans that on YouTube today, I remember that somebody stepped to Caleb Plant in LA at the Riyadh season fight, and the Mexicans came to defend Caleb. You got raza for Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant headlines a show here in Las Vegas, May 31st. At the Ultra Michelob Arena, Mandalay Bay. Same weekend, we got Oscar De La Hoya putting on a Beck the Bully on a Friday night. So we're going to have, like I said, we're going to have this weekend. Monday, we're going to have our recap. Stay tuned. We may have some special guests. Monday night, 7:30 p.m., the Shoe Shine. And then we'll see what kind of content we can come up between now and these upcoming fights in Las Vegas for May. Appreciate everybody. I'm Dave in the 702. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. If you did not, leave me a comment. I will see you guys next Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Until then, peace out, everybody.